Well, I guess I'm not falling asleep anytime too soon. What's up, guys? Bar911-970, and as always, thank you for watching my video. Alright, guys, you see right now the gold and silver is dipping. Um, I want to explain why this is happening, and it just shows that gold and silver is real money, especially gold. But I want to explain so people don't start panicking like they did with the Bitcoin, because there's a huge difference between a currency that is digital, that has no other function other than confidence and making some very rich people even richer by pumping and dumping. But what's happening right now is the fact that because of this lovely bailout that Cyprus was forced down their throat, because the people didn't want it, but the government does because they make tons of money off of these things, are having to pay for some of their debt with their gold. Now, think about that. If gold doesn't have value, if gold is not money, why would the banks take that as payment? Can we see the picture here? Now, what this is doing, and if you haven't seen the video I just made earlier today, this is why they get away with things so easily. Because people cannot see right in front of their face. People are going to see the price of gold and silver dipping, or crashing, or dropping, whatever you want to call it, and say, look, see, it's not worth anything. Look at the price going down. Well, the reason it's going down is because, number one, they manipulate it by dumping all the paper in it. Number two, they manipulate the people by giving this ridiculous fear propaganda and lack of education, so people don't realize that gold has been used as money for thousands of years and is still being used as money today. Just ask China or any other country that is buying oil from Iran and using gold. But think about this, people. The banks who gave Cyprus, well, who forced Cyprus to have another bailout, in other words, another loan, is taking the majority of their gold as payment. If gold didn't have value, would they take it as payment? Wouldn't that be a waste if they were taking something else that had no value? Would that make any sense at all, logically speaking? Because then they might as well just take shells or sand. They got plenty of those. They wouldn't do that because they have no value. But gold does. And how many times did I say they're driving the prices down, so this way the people at the top who are very greedy, very wealthy people, don't like to spend money. So they want to hammer the price down so they can get more of it cheaper. Look what just happened with the Bitcoin situation. Look at how many people now are going to take advantage of being able to potentially buy something at a cheaper price, knowing that it may eventually rise up again. We have to get out of this pattern, people. It's so frustrating on my end, and I'm sure on a lot of others, that they just cannot see the big picture. The banks are telling you without telling you that gold has value. Gold is money, and it will be taken from you if you're not smart enough to realize it. So those of you who say gold and silver are down and don't know why, or say ridiculous things like it's not real money and it's going to go to zero, blah, 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 you don't know what you're talking about. And I've had so many people criticize me about not knowing everything. And of course, I don't know everything. And definitely when I started my channel back in 2011, I didn't know then what I know now. Lesson learned. See the big picture. See this as a buying opportunity. And I know people are starting to hate to hear that word. But this is showing you that the banks, they plan these things. They set these governments up with puppet people who worked in Goldman Sachs or some other financial industry, or somebody who's a yes man who will do whatever they're told like a good little lapdog. They'll profit and let the people suffer, and then they take their gold. Of all the things they could take, why gold? According to Ben Bernanke, it's not money. According to the media, it's not worth investing in. It's not worth you investing in, according to the mainstream media, which is owned by 6 corporations. They don't want you to have it. It's beyond ridiculous at this point if you don't get it. This tells me if and when I ever come up with some more money to be buying gold and silver. And if you can't afford a whole ounce, buy a gram. These discounts are them doing us a favor, because 90% of the people who basically have no clue and don't care, who are the ones that are going to be affected financially when they lose everything, are thinking gold is a bad value. Why? Because they're being told it is. And when you tell a lie long enough, it becomes the truth. I hope there are people out there that get it and see this. So right now, gold is dropping $30 as we speak. And so are all the other precious metals. Platinum down 16, palladium down 20, silver down 80. Let them keep dropping it, because it's not going to stay this way forever, guys. Once the banks have the majority of the gold, guess what, people? They're going to have a gold standard again. There may be that new currency. It's not going to be a digital currency. That was just a distraction technique. Right now, Bitcoin's is currently down right now to $58. And I want to say something to the majority of the Bitcoin community. The people like Adam vs. the Man, Max Kaiser, and all the ones that attacked me brutally, some of you. Sometimes you get what you deserve. So those of you who are kind and respectful, and the ones that did it from the beginning, like, for example, some people may not always agree with Brother John F., but I'll tell you something. He, at least from almost day one, was talking about Bitcoin and its potential. So I give him at least credit for sticking to his guns. People like that. And I'll even, like, for example, Da Vinci. He trolled my videos back in the days a couple of times, so I don't appreciate his tactics. But he stuck to his gun. Him I don't have as much respect for, but you know what? He believed in it. There's nothing wrong, and this shows like religions, all these different things. Believing in something can be a good or a bad thing, but it doesn't guarantee you're right, it doesn't guarantee you're wrong, because belief is nothing more than hoping that something that you have passion with, or something that resonates with you, is correct. There's no guarantees. These should all teach us, and I hope you learn from this. But I'll tell you this much. All the people in the Bitcoin community that attacked me and said nasty things, where are you today? How come I don't see the comments insulting me about I don't know what I'm talking about? How come there's not one person, not one person in the Bitcoin community with enough integrity to actually say, Chris, guess what? You might have been right. Because you know what? When I'm wrong, I man up for it. And you see how quickly people show their true colors. And when the crap hits the fan, all the people that say, oh yeah, I'll be there for you, I'll fight for you, I'm right by your side, all run and hide. Yeah, I'm definitely not getting back to sleep, am I? Too worked up by all this. There's just too much that's been going around. So I personally feel vindicated, because I tried to warn people about the Bitcoins. I try and warn people about the gold and silver and what it really means. Think not from your own perspective. Think from the eye of the mindset of the criminal, the banker, the governments. They're telling you that gold is not money. They're beating down the paper price of gold that people still are investing in. I keep telling people, you know, use greed as a reason and a motivation to go on living, and watch how quick it burns everyone. But some people, you know, as long as they make theirs, they don't give a crap. Well, you know what? We all live on the same planet, so eventually if it comes down to the point that everybody says, screw it, let's just nuke each other, your money is not going to do anything for you, because it's going to evaporate just as quick as you are. What are we going to learn? I hope we learn. And we got to pretty damn well learn quick. And this world has got to do this. Unite. Otherwise, we're just done. Because the ones who get it, the ones who are watching this right now, the very few, the couple of hundred people that may watch this for the right reason, we're not enough. It's almost laughable at this point. I've done the best that I can. And there's not much more I can do, so I'm satisfied with that. Even if this message gets out to 20 people, I'm happy that I made some kind of positive contribution. But people, please, please, I beg you, help me spread this message. Make your own videos. Get the bigger picture. The banks have told you right now that gold has money, gold is valuable, and they're going to trick the people by telling, through the media, who's nothing more than paid puppets, and the governments, who are nothing more than paid puppets, to convince you otherwise. So they got you in that maze, and right over there is the cheese. They don't want you to have it. So they're putting walls here, walls there, and they're leading you to that nice little hungry cat. You have no one to blame but yourself if you cannot figure that out. And I'm not sitting here saying I'm a genius. But like that last video I made with that riddle, and somebody said that's not a fair thing. Well, if somebody spoke that riddle, I can understand that. But when it's written down for somebody to see, focus on, and read, and pay attention and take their time, if they still can't see the answer in the question when they have time to actually look at it, it's a sad day for society. And we're all to blame. I didn't wake up until 2011. And ever since then, I've spent almost every day trying to help people, trying to wake people up, and doing what little I can. If we decide not to do anything, if we just decide, well, I'm just going to get mine, going to make as much money as I can, well, if the money collapses, then what do you have? A day's worth of fuel for your fireplace? Come on, people. Please. Peace.